from this startup company that fired me on my day off.
So that really happened.
That really happened.
I thought you were making a Friday joke. Oh.
Oh, that really happened. When it comes to product design, you really have to know who you're targeting when it comes to designing something in order for people to buy it.
It's just evident that you are a storyteller and you're doing it in such a creative way. I'm taking notes myself.
I think everybody that's in these positions right now, being home, leverage it in the way that you can.
Welcome back to the Working While Black Show, your go-to resource for career growth and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Walter Gaynor II, and today our guest is Aliyah Jones. She's an influencer, a product designer, a marketing strategist, and for some crazy reason, she was recently laid off. Aliyah joined me to talk about her highly engaged unemployment series, her career as a product designer and marketing strategist before she was laid off, and her tips on how to create content on TikTok and LinkedIn. If you're ready to learn how to turn a setback into opportunity, then pay close attention to what Aliyah is about to say. We're going to dive into her whole story, what happened and what she's up to. And you know what? Let's just actually dive into what she's been creating. We're starting right now.
Previously, on my unemployment series, you found out that I lost my job. Boo freaking who. They didn't deserve me. So it's my time to shine. So let's get to know me. So, who am I? I go by the name Aliyah Jones, and you might be seeing me on LinkedIn saying some crazy stuff, or you might be seeing me get stood up by interviews, but I'm more than that. I do a lot of things. I be sketching and designing my own things and for other companies. I even help influencers out on a daily basis, or you might be seeing me with some social media posts too, and I might be hustling and bustling my own small business, or you might catch me at a concert because I'm not trying to be depressed unemployed, so catch me outside, or you might see me being an influencer for 2.5 seconds. Or you might see me be somebody's muse and I might be in a gallery or being honored for my creative contributions to society. So if anybody ever asks who Aliyah Jones is, she's the GOAT.
Before we really explore everything that you just shared there, I actually want to start kind of before the now. I'm very curious about your career journey, especially because like just looking at your everything you've shared on LinkedIn. I've seen the growth starting as a sales associate, getting into product design and social media influencer management. So, can you tell us a little bit about the beginning of your career journey? That first time going from working in retail and the customer service to like that next level up.
hmm So I was working in customer service for quite a long time. As long as I can remember, I was probably like 15 when I started working in retail. I love the fashion industry, so that was like my first foot into the door when it comes to retail. So when I was working in retail, I basically wanted to learn the ins and outs of like knowing the customer's wants and needs. And I just loved interacting with people. And a lot of people that don't know this, I've always been shy growing up. So that was like me putting myself out there and showcasing like my personality and also, interacting with people on a daily basis. But retail, it has its highs and also its lows. I've dealt with a lot of people from different walks of life when it comes to erratic customers, nice customers,
Mm.
and just building relationships overall. Like every day was always different, which always kept me into that field, if that makes sense. I just love the thrill. I love every day was different. But over time, I kind of grew out of retail. And a lot of my family members were like, Aaliyah, you're too talented to be working in retail. You do a lot of things outside of work. So when I was working in retail, I was already, doing content before influencer marketing was even like a solid thing. I was already growing my platform on Instagram and Tumblr. Might be showing my age with Tumblr, but
Shout out to Tumblr.
yeah, shout out to Tumblr. I grew my following on there first, and then it transferred over to Instagram. And while I was working in retail, I was like posting like fashion content at first. And then once, influencer marketing started booming, I started getting like, connected with like brands like K Swiss. At first, when it came to K Swiss, I was actually a brand ambassador where they had contacted me um, to help promote like their sneakers that they were trying to, push out during that time frame because K Swiss was kind of like rebranding. And then from there, I just built a solid connection with them and, grew over time and just seeing the ins and outs of what I can do as opposed to working in retail. Because when you're working in like the fashion industry, there's different avenues that you could do product design, um, fashion buying, and etc. So I was really trying to, you know, pinpoint what I truly want to do, but I
Okay.
realized I love doing everything in a
You just
sense.
wanted to do it all.
Yeah.
Couple quick shout outs. I think this episode just might be me like this whole time, just be like, what, you did that? What? Um, all right, so before Case was just like, "Oh, Aaliyah, please come work with us." When your family was kind of just sharing that you are should be doing a bit more things with your talents, were you already aware that you could be doing like something different, or because I don't want to necessarily like talk down on being in retail customer service, because to be honest, these like global corporations, they exist because people who are on the front lines are doing what they do.
Mhm.
But you were starting to not feel it as much anymore, wanted to get out of it. I don't think people talk about as much about going from working in retail customer success into other types of fields, but you were able to do that, which is pretty dope. And do
Yeah.
it in a way where you're doing it like your own
My
way
own
too. So was this something you like knew that you could do, or did it kind of just happen for you?
It was something that I knew I could do, um, because I've always been, you know, interested on like pivoting when it comes to working in retail and trying to, maneuver my way into, marketing and also in the design aspect of, fashion or whatever uh lane I'm trying to do. So it's just always been in me. Plus, I've been around people that have been in the industries, different industries that have collaborated with like K Swiss and more brands. So I've just watched them grow and blossom into the, different companies that they worked with. And I'm like, I could pivot myself too. I just have to take the steps to do
Mhm.
it and not be comfortable. Because I was so comfortable working in retail because it was I knew it all. I know how to do everything. I know how to interact with people. I know how to connect with customers and understanding their wants and needs and hearing them, and that helped me, you know, build a
Yeah.
rapport with people, so which helped me transition over to pivoting into what I'm trying to do
I feel that.
now.
There's a lot of people who've just gone, full entrepreneurship without having a job, and which is cool, which is great. That's actually awesome. But I always feel like
Mhm.
everyone should have at least 1 year working in customer service, especially front line, like where you're face to face with
Yes.
the people, because
You could
man.
tell when people haven't worked in customer service. I've been around so many, business owners and people that I worked under. You could
Mhm.
tell they haven't been around customers just based on how they talk to them, how they, it's crazy
It
to see
is.
how people talk to people that are buying from
Oh man.
them.
Oh man. Okay, I got what's like the craziest moment that you care to share?
As far as working under someone or
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll leave it open ended. Whatever the first thought, like the craziest experience you've had, either working for someone or just seeing someone just talk crazy to a customer. Like, well, what
oof,
happened?
there was okay. I kind of like talked about it on LinkedIn how I got laid off, aka fired, from this startup company that fired me on my day off.
So that
Um
really happened.
that really happened.
I thought you were making a Friday joke. Oh,
Oh, that really happened.
okay.
That was a
Aaliyah
real
Craig
voicemail.
Jones. Dang.
That was a real voicemail and all. Fired me on my day off, but I was working under a male heavy male company, startup company. And a lot of the leaders in that company, um, they just did not understand, like, you are giving a product to a customer. I was one of those people that would, I was basically the person that the customers would come to when it comes to, handling their problems, like, "Oh, I'm missing a thing in my package." It was basically like a t-shirt shop. I was trying to, like, dance around.
Yeah, you dancing. You doing all the moves. When you first started describing them, I'd be like, "Oh, there's plenty of print-on-demand companies. No one will ever know."
I mean, I'm like, "Oh god, are they watching me?"
Hey, they let you go.
That is true. They did me dirty,
Yeah,
but
but it is cool to see. It's something about like trashing your previous employer, like in interviews and stuff. It's usually frowned upon. So I respect you. I won't push it
yeah.
anymore. So this company you're working at, they didn't really understand the customer service or how to truly look out for the customer in the way that you wanted to do it. You were bringing back some of my own trauma. I might have to call. Well, I don't have a therapist yet. I need to get on it. I need to get on it so I could call them after this. Man. Okay, gotcha. So you, man, yeah. No, I don't. I think it's kind of interesting. Just that customers aren't always right. Mentality, which is true. Customers are not always right, but they always
Yeah,
matter. They always matter. They're
they
the reason
do.
that a lot of these businesses exist. All of them exist. Every single
Yeah.
business.
If you have
Um,
good customer service, that helps customers keep coming back, which I was trying to explain to them, like, "Hey, you guys should not be talking reckless to them, or you're gonna keep getting bad reviews on Google." So,
you wonder why it's happening.
which which was racking up. That was on them.
Hey,
I'm just the messenger.
just
So,
a messenger. Someone's got to be number one or something. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you man, fired on your day job via voicemail.
yes.
Aaliyah, you have to send this to me so I can add it into this so I can hear it because I literally thought that, oh wow, you guys want to voice this crazy.
Hello, Leah. How you doing? This is. I just want to call and inform you that we will no longer be needing your help. But thanks for all your help. Your passwords don't work anymore, and
That's like the most. That was so quick. It was such a quick message. There was no follow ups. Like, if you have any questions, let me know. It was like a nah. All your emails are gone. Your password's broken. You can't access anything. Goodbye. Just letting you know if you try to show up for work, you can't. That's crazy.
It was sad, and honestly, that message was actually longer. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I know. It was super long because I had to cut out, like, one part where he was like, um, "Well, you don't have to work, but that's okay." Like, I'm like, "That is not okay." I mean,
you
you
got that
listen
vacation you always wanted.
yes. Like, what do you mean? I was gonna put the full thing, but I'm like, "No." Like, no.
You did a
Uh,
good creative decision. You got the point across. Man.
yeah.
How did that feel getting that message though? Because this, getting fired. I interviewed someone on the show, and actually, the episode will have to come out, I think, soon if you're listening or watching. But he was sharing how he got fired, and he was told, "Today's your last day. We'll walk you to your desk to walk you out right then and there." And when they brought him to his desk, he just picked up a box and they're like, "Where are all your stuff?" He's like, "It's right here in this box," because he had actually already been preparing to either leave or something. He just felt like his time was coming to an end, and he was in more of like a leadership type position. So sometimes you can't expect like, oh, you kind of know the day's coming, but other times it's like, yo, what? Me? Are you for real? Like right now? So how did that feel getting that voice message of all things on your day off, listening to it? Like, what were some of the things that went through your mind?
You know, I knew it was coming.
Mm.
Um, because when it's coming when they start asking, like, "Hey, do you have the login for this? Can you highlight what you had in this Google Drive, what I should post?" And because I was also doing their social media too. Um, so they started doing little stuff like that. Um, just asking me like, "Hey, what's the password of this? How do you who was the last person that you talked to on as far as like the customer or, have you talked to the product designer that was designing some of their graphic tees? And just asking me about my day to day and how I handle things that they're not used to handling. Which I knew I was like, huh, they're plotting. They're plotting, they're scheming. Don't be surprised, Aliyah. Like, I just didn't know when. And it was around Valentine's Day. I'm like, dang, like,
Happy Valentine's.
thanks. Thanks for my flowers. Like, screw y'all. So, yeah, that happened. Yeah, I kind of knew. You always know when you're about to get let go. So, I wasn't surprised. I just was surprised on how they went about it. Because I was a really good asset to them. I helped them a lot in how they could pivot their company and gave them a lot of fresh ideas because they knew I was very versatile when it comes to like product design, how you may add different products to your website in order to cater to like women and stuff like that. So I was always the person that they would come to when it comes to like getting fresh ideas, innovative ideas, and how to maneuver in, the e-commerce business and retail basically. So I felt like it was a stab in the back to me. But it's cool. It's not what it is.
Everything's fine.
The crazy thing was,
Mm-hmm.
I found out after they fired me and like months later, they actually went on a podcast and they some of the ideas that I gave them, it, they created a whole different business with those ideas that
Oh.
uh,
Oh.
that's where it gets
A whole new bit. What?
I know. I know. And I don't know how I stumbled upon this podcast, but I'm like, let me listen to what they got to say. And I'm like, huh.
That's wild.
Ah.
That's wild. Was this like a predominantly white work environment?
Well, it was predominantly the main person I was dealing with was white. That was super rude. Super rude. The one I was talking about that was rude to customers. But everybody else was like mixed a little bit, Spanish. But it was kind of,
Okay. Diverse in the
diverse.
well, I guess you said mostly male though, so
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, hey, it sounds like you were freed from a place that wasn't really respecting you but wanted all your ideas, but now it just sucks that you kind of got too freed and it's like, oh, hold up.
I
Wait,
know.
I wasn't trying to be free right now. Um all right. Let's take a quick break and then when we get back, I wanted to hear a little bit more about some of the product design stuff you did and why you're known as the yay of the workplace. It took me too long to realize that everyone gets stuck while trying to create content. So I decided that I want to build a knowledge base designed to help you use content as a solution to some of your biggest problems. For some, it's building a following, giving your business a competitive edge, helping people to understand you better. And for me, I use content to stand out in the workplace. Like literally at my job, I did not want to be employee number 56738, and honestly, the content was like an accidental solution for me. But there's ways to be intentional about it and make it work like 10 times better for you. So if you want to stay in the loop, I'll be sharing more about all of this in my newsletter as I build this whole thing out. So sign up today, link is in the description, and let's see if we can make this content thing work for you. All right, y'all, what's going on? We're back. Very curious on LinkedIn. You kind of have that headline, the yay of the workplace. Nowadays, that can mean a lot of different things. So but knowing that you've both had an interest and passion and both experience doing things in retail, fashion, working with shoe brands, um, putting together a lot of different creative campaigns. That part makes sense. That part makes sense. So, just want to hear a little bit more about some of the work you've done in just this product design world. You know, my experience is mostly in digital e-commerce, marketing, and now podcasting and stuff. So that like that product design stuff is somewhat foreign to me. Like understand user interfaces and software, but when we're talking about the actual product of stuff, like I know shoes need shoelaces, but I don't. That's all I know. So keep put us on game. What tell us a little bit about just your work in product design and fashion.
Yeah. So how I came about with product design, I'm gonna start from the top. So when it comes to fashion, I've always been intrigued when it comes to designing different products. I've always been into sketching and just 3D design. Um, and I was actually supposed to go to school at Parsons, a new school of design,
Mhm.
for the design program. But unfortunately, I couldn't go because it was super expensive
Mm.
in New York. It's one of the top fashion schools, and I was so shocked that I got in.
Oh, so you were actually accepted.
Yeah.
It's just the money side.
Yes.
Mm.
So I did that. So basically, after I didn't go, I started really honing in on like sketching and learning the ins and outs of what, certain consumers wants and needs when it comes to different products. So at first, I started sketching my own stuff for my own company. And then once people started seeing me like, oh, she knows what she's doing. Um, they started reaching out to me like, "Oh, can you design some card games or
Mm.
um, sneakers or a bag?" So I would lay it out and blueprint it um, through different systems like Blender, Adobe
Mm.
Illustrator, Close. So yeah,
Wow, that's very cool, actually.
yeah.
Okay, so
So yeah.
go ahead.
so so during that time period, when I wasn't in school, I did go to community college, but I was not happy. Was not happy. But during that time period, I was like really studying online and just, you know, learning the ins and outs of product design and how I could pivot through different, industries like making game cards or anything in particular that people can ask me, I could just draft it up for you.
Yeah, that's cool. So, which was there a certain game that you were able to actually get your hands on and kind of contribute to the design?
um
Or if it's not games, whatever, just kind of curious.
Oh, so, like, with card games, did a dating card game, which was pretty
Oh,
cool. Yeah, but that hasn't come out yet. They're
okay.
still working on getting, connecting with vendors and everything like that, but
Nice.
I did that, which was pretty fun and cool, and drafting up, like, the questions and how they wanna lay out, the ombre of the card, and it really when it comes to product design, you really have to know who you're targeting when it comes to designing something in order for people to buy it. If you're only designing for yourself, how are you gonna sell the
Mm.
product? I think a lot of companies, forget how to design for their consumer when it comes to product design, even with like UX, web design. I've dibble and dabble in coding and how websites are laid out, and a lot of companies just don't focus on the customer when it comes to how they maneuver and navigate websites or an app and etc. So
Man. Yeah, you know your stuff. You know your stuff. It's interesting. Just it's just interesting that that's something that companies and brands miss, right? Like they're
yeah,
creating something that's supposed to, you know, people are supposed to fall in love with, but they kind of forget about the people actually have to fall in love with it, especially games, right?
Yeah.
I've gotten a game, played it once, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm not doing this again. And there's other games. One game right now actually that we were put on to was Exploding Kittens. And
Oh
I don't know if you played it, but I like just heard about it a month or two ago. And now there's a Netflix show about it too. I'm like, what's going on?
my goodness.
But
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
it's interesting. Yeah, the whole show on Netflix. The show actually, I've only seen like I think the first episode, and it is not what I thought the game was at all. But we'll see. Shout out to the game designers there because we played it once. We're like, oh no, we got to come back to this. We actually went and got the game because we enjoyed it. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. It sounds like you really know your stuff. I'm curious, like, what do you mind sharing? Like, what year was it when you started doing like the kind of sketching and everything for product design?
Mm, I've always been sketching, but when I really took it serious was when I was like in my freshman year of college at community college. Um, Really like, okay, let's really lock in when it comes to sketching and making sure we get all the dimensions on how it looks in 3D and how it may look in person. So yeah, I really started honing in with that. And then over time, I started taking like certification programs where I could thoroughly understand, the behind the scenes when it comes to product design. Um, and that could go into different industries like architectural stuff and etc. So you could really pivot with product design.
Yeah, I'm seeing. I mean, you were talking about like UX on websites and like nowadays it's like I feel like every day I learn about two different software companies that really kind of do the same thing, but they're just completely separate companies. So it's like that's a whole
Right.
world out there. So kind of coming back to like kind of where you are now with everything, like what is it like in this job market where you're seeing different listings go up all the time and you've just had all sorts of experiences both as an employee, as an influencer, as a consultant, an entrepreneur. What is it like kind of like in this job market right now? Because you kind of come off as someone who's like super qualified.
I know I'm qualified.
You sound qualified. If I was the hiring manager, I'd be like, "Oh, this is what we got. We have to interview more people. We really do. Okay, fine, we will. But this is the person. So what's going on?" Yeah.
I've been asking the same thing. Like, this job market it's tragic. I'm gonna just say it like that. It's tragic. It's really sad on how people, um, like recruiters and hiring managers, they be talking their sweet stuff, to people in emails and, hyping them up, which I've been a victim of. Um, it's just sad on how those people that are in those positions sometimes don't have empathy with people that are really like trying to connect with them and trying to um really show like I'm serious, like I really need this job. I'm not just trying to talk through email or, LinkedIn DMs all the time. Like, really, let's be serious about scheduling like an interview if you're really talking about hiring me. So been a victim of that. I've been a victim of always getting to the final interviews. I always get to the final
Oh,
interviews.
really?
I do.
You're a three-time finalist,
I-
30
Man,
time final.
I need a gold medal.
We'll put you in the Olympics in 2028. We got you.
But it's just sad because, it feels like a lot of the postings on LinkedIn are ghost postings. And I'm constantly seeing like the same job that I just applied for, got to the final interviews, and the job posting is getting reposted 150 times.
Yep.
Like, what's going on? Like, why you guys keep doing this? So it's just been rough, and it's been sad seeing a lot of people on LinkedIn, um, like their stories that I read on a daily basis. It's just a really sad time, and I hope things start to pivot during the fall, where people are starting to get the jobs that they need in order for them to provide for their families. Like people are losing their houses over this. Like
Hmm.
this is really sad. Like people are doing GoFundMe's and going homeless. Like this is serious, and I feel like people in those roles are not like understanding. But I know it's the job market too. It's not just the people in the roles. So I
Couple factors there, but
yeah. So
that
it's like
is definitely a factor. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. This is a strange time, right? It's like a- in some cases there's prejudice and microaggressions, discriminations. Like we saw, there's an article recently this year about a black man who caught someone slipping. He filed an employment discrimination lawsuit against a hotel in Detroit, Michigan, because he was actually offered a job, but they didn't really know who they're offering a job to. He had applied to this job previously under his name, and he tried again under a completely different name, went through the process and was offered the job. And, caught them slipping. Now there's a lawsuit out there. So that's just one blatant case of it. But then there's just the general, just kind of what you're talking about, people who are just kind of taking people through the process. You apply, then you don't hear from them for like 3 months, and you get a rejection email. And it's like, yo, I actually forgot. Like, who are you? What?
Right.
I just got this random rejection on a Tuesday. It's crazy. It really is crazy. And
It,
just with all of that, I feel like it's very easy to lose all hope and
mhm.
everything. But I still see you doing something that is honestly, I would almost say, I think it would be considered brave in the sense that you're being very transparent online. You're still going through the process of applying, but you're also sharing like, yo, it's hard out here. And you've been able to make light of it and make it something almost like comical that we're all kind of laughing along with you. But just how do you keep this like positive attitude? Because it's not necessarily that you're like 1000% happy, but you're still kind of presenting out in the public, even on this thing, talking about all this with a smile on your face. Like, what's keeping you going?
um, I think what's really keeping me going is I have a good support system. I have people that I'm surrounded by that has always uplifted me on since as long as I can remember. My family, they keep me grounded and they keep me, you know, level headed when it comes to these types of situations. Like, you know, so with that, I just look at it as like, okay, I'm in this predicament for a reason. I'm in this waiting period for a reason. So I look at things like this as a sign, to just be patient with the timing of everything that is supposed to be laid out in my life. So just with that, and just connecting with my support system, they really been helping me. And
Mm, yo,
like people really need support, and even online too. That's definitely helped as well. Just sharing my experience, because a lot of times I see people feel like they are alone and they're not. So I just want to. Plus, I've always been like a very positive, but I have my days. I definitely have my days. I'm not perfect. I give myself one day to be sad, and then all right, let's wrap it up. Let's keep hustling. Let's keep moving. All right, let's shed this tear, and all right, what's next?
get back to it.
Yeah, you got to. You got to keep pushing. You can't. You can only cry so much.
Well, I appreciate that because, like I said, I don't even remember if I said it here but offline. But it's just like every time I see your post, it just brings like a whole nother, just some lightness, some brightness to my day. So I've been enjoying everything. Um, yeah, there's a lot of ways to use content, and I'm gonna take another break. When we get back, I feel like you're the perfect person to talk to about creating content. So I want to get back to it. It took me too long to realize that everyone gets stuck while trying to create content. So I decided that I want to build a knowledge base designed to help you use content as a solution to some of your biggest problems. For some, it's building a following. Giving your business a competitive edge, helping people to understand you better. And for me, I use content to stand out in the workplace, like literally at my job. I did not want to be employee number 56738, and honestly, the content was like an accidental solution for me. But there's ways to be intentional about it and make it work like 10 times better for you. So if you want to stay in the loop, I'll be sharing more about all of this in my newsletter as I build this whole thing out. So sign up today. Link is in the description, and let's see if we can make this content thing work for you. All right, we are back. We're back. Ali, I really appreciate your time and just have a few more questions for you. This whole thing started because I stumbled across your content and fell in love with it. And what's really cool about it is just it's just evident that you are a storyteller and you're doing it in such a creative way. I'm taking notes myself. And you're doing it in a way that's kind of like using content and using social media platform as leverage, right? Like there's like, when you create something and post something, it's like, oh, maybe this will get like 5 million views. But there's also other goals, right? Where it's like, okay, how can I use this content to for career growth purposes to kind of really grow in your career? That's something for me. I was able to kind of pivot into this podcast world because of stuff I was doing already in podcasting. So I would love to hear about what, we'll actually start off with this. What made you start this whole like job search series and posting it on LinkedIn? A lot of people would like stray far away from that. But what led you to do it?
You know, I was seeing a lot of sad posts on LinkedIn, which was making me sad. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting depressed just reading these paragraphs on LinkedIn. And I'm like, we need to liven up a little bit. Like let's smile from time to time. Like let's all take a breather while we're scrolling sometime. So I just got so sad. And I'm like, I gotta do something about this. So I was already like blogging like my own daily life on like TikTok already, but I was talking to my older sister. She's like my go-to person when it comes to like, hey, like, you guys should do this, like. And she was like, honestly, you should really like put all the content that you already have put out on like Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and just start sharing your story. And I was like, you know what? You're right, but I'm gonna do it my way. Not the posh way, not the, clean cut. We're gonna be real on here. Because that's just how I am. I'm very blunt. I say what's on my mind. Respectfully. I say what people can handle. But so I was like, you know what, let's just start posting and hopefully something comes out of it. And luckily it's been helping. And this is like the first time I've really started posting on LinkedIn. I always looked at LinkedIn as like, oh gosh, it's kind of boring on here. Like, I gotta.
It can be.
So I'm like, let me spruce it up a little bit. So it's starting to become fun to me to be on there,
Okay.
with the content that I'm pushing out.
So before, because before at least I saw videos, I've seen you like posting kind of like just regular status updates. Was that really what you were doing on LinkedIn before? I mean, they were still funny. But what were you doing? Was that just like you came to LinkedIn specifically for job search purposes?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I started from the bottom with LinkedIn. Like I was just on there looking at jobs, and then I was like, okay, I actually have to post on here.
Did someone tell you to post, or you just like kind of felt that you should?
I felt like I should because I'm like, all right, people don't know like my background. People don't know like what I bring to the table and what I could do when it comes to being hired in a position where I have all these skill sets where they can actually see visually on LinkedIn. So I just started doing that, and it's definitely been helping a lot. Instead of just having like a portfolio where people can click on, I rather just, you know, talk about it and share it in a more creative way where people are gravitating to me, and getting to know me through those videos to see, who are we actually hiring? Um, which has been helping to
Hmm.
that's kind of been like the cheat code I've been seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to like just being myself and showcasing my life in a sense and
Yeah.
what I do.
I like that. I like that. That's fun. I usually kind of ask people like, "What would you say is a cheat code is?" But you're just like, I don't know. You either reading my mind or you just like very aware of what you're doing.
Okay.
Um, that's cool. So I've seen because I was going through just like before this interview, just checking to see like, okay, what are you doing on other social profiles? And I saw, okay, yeah, you posted this video that you made here. You also shared it on TikTok and stuff, and it's kind of interesting, right? Just the differences of reactions, like. On LinkedIn, a lot of support, people saying they love it, and seeing that on TikTok too. But I also saw one person giving you sugar daddy advice. So I'm
Oh,
curious.
I'm like, girl, I was joking.
So yeah, have you noticed any difference on like the content you posted on LinkedIn versus TikTok?
uh, yes. I mean, on TikTok, I'm more see on different platforms, it's kind of interesting on who your audience is. Like on TikTok, I'm more like, oh, I'm reviewing beauty stuff. I'm doing a little vlog. I'm talking about my own small business. I'm like kind of everywhere on my TikTok. So, but on LinkedIn, it's more specifically job search where people are struggling right now. So it's more of like a deeper connection
Mm,
on LinkedIn when it comes to that particular content, which has helped me connect with individuals that, might be needing someone to talk to, which I've been getting a lot when it comes to the messages that I get.
mm.
So it's a difference in audience. Yeah. I've been getting flooded with like, oh my gosh, your content has been helping me. It's helped me push out my own content on LinkedIn. So it's definitely been really interesting to see, the difference when it comes to TikTok as opposed to LinkedIn.
That's beautiful. That's really cool. Just like you've created something that just made someone feel so comfortable enough to just reach out to you privately and be like, "Yo, can I talk?
Yeah.
Can we talk?" Yeah,
It
that's
warms my heart reading those. And it's like, oh, like, I'm happy that I inspired you to push out content when you were scared to do it and, or hesitant or you were just too depressed to even post. And it's
mhm,
just been really interesting to hear the different stories I read on a daily basis when it comes to like their job search and, how they could pivot when it comes to like marketing or even like product design, help that people always ask me through LinkedIn. So I've definitely seen the community that I'm building on there and it's really nice. It's overwhelming
yeah.
too.
Love is overwhelming. Man. All right. What would you say is or what are some of your like go-to tools when you are recording and editing some of those videos?
I always on I'm on CapCut. I love CapCut. Sometimes I'm on Final Cut on my Mac, but a lot of the times if I want it like quick and done, let's do CapCut. Um, so yeah, I'm always on there and I'm always like downloading different fonts on like the font. Um I'm very like a visual person, like when it comes to like, okay, how can I gravitate people with like different jump cuts and etc. So I'm very analytical when it comes to that.
It's
It's
working.
very fun to me.
I think content can be so it looks easy. Content looks very easy to make, and it can be very, very easy to make. but I think just when you really take a look at just the sea of content, you could notice what took someone, 30 seconds to create, and it's still good content. And so that took
Mhm.
someone, how long did it take you to make one of those videos? It
Sometimes
took you a long time, didn't it?
no, honestly,
Oh,
I record in a day,
okay.
and then since I have a lot of time on my hands, I might as well get the editing done today. I might as well I do it in a day. I finalize the video in a day, and then the next day and I start watching it over and over and over again. I'm crazy for that, but I'm like, "Okay, let me sleep on it." And then I sleep on it, I wake up, I'm like, "Alright, let's add this there, let's add this there, let's add this there." So it takes like 2 days for me.
Okay.
2 days.
You could tell the difference between someone who took maybe 30 seconds to create someone and someone that took 2 days to create. Well, the 2 days were worth it. It seemed like they were worth it. Because there's just a lot of different elements that go into it, and it's just like you're telling a story and pulling from past memories that you've captured, doing other types of content as well. So I
Yeah.
mean, they paid off. They paid off. Are you trying to get faster, or are you like kind of happy with your process?
I'm kinda happy with my process because I thoroughly enjoy, the editing part of it,
Mm,
and just taking my time with it in a sense. Um, but yeah,
okay.
faster wise, I feel like the best content is when you kinda like time. No rush, don't rush. Because rush work, you're gonna see something once you post it, you're like, "Why the heck why didn't I put a little
Did I
jump
miss
cut
that
right there?"
question mark? I thought there was supposed to be a question mark there. That's not how you spell. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. All right. So, one thing in particular, that just it's evident that everyone listening, watching, there's a video editor who knows what she's doing, can make your stuff look super, super nice, and she's currently available. Yeah, snatch her up before Gary V sees one of your posts on LinkedIn or something like
Oh
that,
gosh.
and then
Shout out to Gary.
yeah, I'll be flying you out to, I don't know where he operates, everywhere. Um, all right, so last question, last question.
Oh gosh.
You share.
Oh Lord. I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. I haven't said anything crazy.
This is well, I hope it's not a crazy one. you shared you shared that you were kind of doing your thing on Tumblr, were able to bring your audience over to Instagram. We
Yes.
know you're doing your thing on LinkedIn, TikTok. You've been creating and like all sorts of different product reviews and stuff like that. So you've done something on a lot of different platforms. And right now, for a lot of people who are stepping into content creation, one thing they're figuring out is which platform should I be, if I'm being everywhere, how do I do this, all this stuff. But my actual question to you is, which platforms do you currently like the most?
Hmm. Might be crazy for me to say. Right now, I'm loving the LinkedIn vibe for me. For me.
Oh,
It's shocking.
oh,
It's shocking. I love it right now. But I love my TikTok crew. Instagram is just too perfect over there. You gotta look the part. Like I'd be kind of scared to post on there. Like it's like, dang, like a rough crowd over here, but it is like it really is. Like, dang, like here I am again. Like, oh, she's been gone 3 months. Here she's back. Like, that's how it be. Like, you only see me on my stories. I might post sometimes, but TikTok, LinkedIn, and Pinterest are like
mm,
the perfect places to post. And also threads. I
mm.
start getting into threads. they've been coming around, you know.
Yeah, I've been seeing
So,
them bonuses. I've been seeing
yeah,
people getting them bonuses.
right. So
I
I'm
was
gonna have
looking
to sign
before,
up.
and now I am typing.
Right. I'm like, okay. Let me shimmy my way over there.
Right?
But yeah, those are the three: Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn. Four.
Four. Threads, 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting
Facebook. Yeah, you
Facebook.
kept on. Oh, so the top three. Who were like the big three? Is it LinkedIn, TikTok, and Pinterest for you?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay, that's interesting. That's cool. All right.
Indeed.
Okay, so I've taken up all of your just a lot of your time. Um forcing you to answer all of my nosy questions. But no, I really do appreciate you taking the time to just be on this show. This is a show I kind of put together really just to kind of share both stories and just connecting people and ultimately just letting people know that they're not alone. I think it's so easy, so easy to feel like you're the only one going through something. And I think your just story is just unfortunately relatable. So yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and share. Is there anything else that you wanted to, any kind of lingering thoughts or maybe something else about your story that we didn't touch on?
Hmm. Honestly, no, I just want to let everybody know, like, they're not alone when it comes to being in this tragic pandemic of job market right now, and to really take the time to really learn about yourself and to really hone in on the skills once you get into that specific role that you are looking for, and to also take your time when it comes to the job applications too, because I feel like people don't just keep, throwing any type of job application. Really look at the job application and make sure, like, huh, do I actually want to work here? Is this company meant for me? Um, so yeah, because you're also interviewing them too. So
Mm.
you are like they need you more than you need them.
Oh, that
That's what I've been taught.
is that what you believe as well? This isn't like a trick. Like, do you think that's true? But it's like you say that you've been told that. Do you kind of feel that when you're walking in there? You kind of carry that with you?
I do, because I bring a lot to the table where it's like where I'm a good asset for any company that might need me in any type of expertise that I specialize in. So I've always brought that, and it's definitely helped me separate my own personal life and not making, the company my whole life.
Mm.
And I feel like, people need to start, that company is not your life. You have your whole own life, your whole other side hustles that you might be doing that you might love more. So, yeah, really take the time within yourself right now. I think everybody that's in these positions right now, being home, leverage it in the way that you can.
Yeah, I like that. That was a beautiful answer. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing
Of
that. Yeah.
course.
Um, and thank you all for listening, watching, tuning in. This is now a wrap. This is now a wrap. We're wrapping up. Wrapping up. Letting Aaliyah get back to her content creation because she probably got 2 videos that she needs to sleep on. So want to help her get back to what she's doing, which is amazing stuff. But thank you for tuning in. If you were listening and watching, had any questions that I didn't ask, but you really want to hear, drop them in the comments, or you could text me at 914-353-4176. I promise I will bug Aaliyah until we get an answer. I'll sacrifice the relationship I've been building with her for you to get all the information and stuff that you need. But yeah, if you had a story that kind of relates, share it with us either publicly in the comments or just, reach out once again to that phone number, 914-353-4176. It's a private place for us to kind of text back and forth. And yeah, really just kind of be a part of that, that private sort of community. That's what we're building here. Whole global community where we're all kind of together. Appreciate y'all. And I'll catch you next time. Peace. You know what? After show, where can everyone follow you, Aliyah? That's a question that I probably should have asked before I did that intro. Just kidding, y'all. We still here.
Oh my gosh. Where can you guys follow me? Well, you guys can follow me on Instagram. I am Aliyah Jones. TikTok. I am Aliyah Jones. LinkedIn. Aliyah Jones.
Aliyah Jones, y'all.
I am Aliyah Jones.
There we go. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in for that after credit scene. We out.
Bye.